What's up, you guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Kiafa. Welcome back to my tribe. What you guys up to today? So I know it's a little bit late for me to be posting, but I'm gonna go ahead and post it anyways because better late than never, right? So in this video, I wanted to actually talk about a comment that I received recently, and it was pretty much about being a surgical tech and being single, traveling, or just working as a surgical tech as a single parent. And so I'm gonna just go ahead and answer this video. Not gonna be that long because the truth is, the pretty much main answer to this question is you're gonna need to have a support system in place. Having a support system, whether it's friends or family or it's some type of help, whether you have to pay for it or it's free, is gonna be the only way that you really can be a traveling surgical tech or a staff surgical tech. So if you're a staff surgical tech and you're working at a hospital or a medical facility and you have to be there every day at a certain time, maybe your manager and stuff can help you with their work with you as far as when you can come in, or maybe if you need to drop your kids off, you can find a daycare provider that will be open around the times that you need to work. Or if you got a friend or family member that's willing to help you out, then that would be great. But this is pretty much, or the parent of the child. So this is pretty much the only way that it's going to work for you. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's not possible, because it is. I did it. So what I would do is I would look for home daycare providers or centers that had hours that would be like either 24-hour or outside of the normal working hours, because I would have to be to work so early that sometimes, working from 7, if a provider opened at 7, that would be too late for me, because I would need someone to pretty much be open at 5, or pretty much at 5, because I would need to be at work by 6. And if they open at 7, then that just doesn't work for me. So I did find that home daycare providers offered the best solution for this, because they can kind of work with you as far as the hours going. You can just pay them more. But the best solution is the first one, which would be the other parent. So if you can co-parent, egos aside, if it's not something that the ending didn't go well, then that's between you two. But when it comes down to raising your kids, you might have to put your ego aside a little bit. But if you can work with a parent, then that would be great. If you have parents that are willing to help you, at least if they can take the kids to daycare, that would be good, if you don't want to put a lot of pressure on them. Sorry guys, I'm recording outside, if you can hear the cars riding past. But if you don't want to put too much pressure on your parents or your friends or family, maybe you can just ask them to take the kids to daycare so they don't have to watch them all day. Or if your family members or friends are willing to watch your kid, and that would be great too. But I would just make sure that if you're going to use your friends and family to help you watch your kids, to make sure that you actually pay them and set it up as if it was a actual daycare. Because if you're using it as a favor, then people tend to not take it as serious. And at the end of the day, you do need to make sure that you have reliable help if you're going to be in the OR. Because if somebody feels like it's just them helping you out, and they might not feel like it, and then they tell you, at the last minute that they decide not to babysit for you because they stayed out late or whatever the case may be, and they can't get up, when you need them to, then you might end up having to call into work, and that just makes it harder for you to actually be successful as a surgical tech. And so what you also can do is use care.com, which is a website that has babysitters. And I like care.com, you guys, because normally they already have like a background check on file with care.com. They typically also have BLS or some type of healthcare certification and you can also kind of track their babysitting, childcare, sitting career. They also have it where you can use it for childcare or pet sitting or errands or things like that. So let's just say you have a kid that is in school, you can have your care.com provider pick the kid up from school and drop them off to school at the before care and after care. So let's just say your kid goes to school and the before care doesn't start till 7. You can have a care.com provider come to your house, before the kid goes to school, before the before care opens, and then drop them off at before care, and then you pick the kid up. If you're off in time, you should be off in time to pick the kid up. It just depends on what your schedule is. But even if you're not, then you can also pay the care.com provider to pick the kid up. And at that from aftercare, because I think aftercare typically ends around 6. So I mean, it depends on where you at, but it typically ends around 6. Sorry you guys for the noise. So yeah, if aftercare, the care provider can pick the kid up at aftercare, and then that will give you a little more time to get home if you have like weird hours or whatever. But there are also, like I say, centers out there that offer you 24-hour services, so you can utilize those as well. They're not as popular, but they're becoming more, available, I guess, because people realize that not everyone works 9 to 5, so they're offering these different hours. And that's pretty much all I have. But if you can, the ideal goal would be to use the other parent or a grandparent, a family member, someone that the kid is familiar with, and that actually, I would prefer someone that cares for my child versus someone that I have to pay to take care of my child. But at the end of the day, if you need to pay someone to help you, then that's just what it is. And even if it's a family member, I would still give them some type of compensation, because once they're getting compensated for it, then it doesn't seem like a favor to them, and they're more willing to do it. And then you have a reliable source when it comes to your job. So as a surgical tech, you will be making enough money to actually be able to give them some, type of compensation. It might not be much, but at least give them at the minimum half of what you would pay to a actual daycare provider that, has certifications and actually are professionals. So if you could, then I would do that. Also, you could maybe communicate or network with moms in the neighborhood and see, who they're using if you need to find a child care provider. But either you're going to use a family member or a friend to do this, to help you with this, or you're going to use the child care providers or centers. And so either way it goes, those are pretty much the options you're gonna need. So at the end of the day, that's the support group that you will need. If you have access to, the other parent, then this would be my first option, is to get the other parent involved as much as possible. Maybe even, figure out a way to help it benefit them as well. I wouldn't necessarily offer money up front if it's the other parent, but I would ask them, like, hey, how would you feel about spending more time with your kid if I had to, pick up an extra 2 or 3 shifts of call? They should be okay with that, because at the end of the day, the kid's quality of life will be better. So hopefully the parent will understand that. So you guys, that's all I have for you in this video. I hope this was helpful to you. I forgot her name, but I will have the comment on the screen. So this video was pretty much inspired or prompted by her question. And if you guys have any questions, please leave them and I will try to answer them as well. Thank you. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.